Good nonfiction readers distinguish between fact and opinion to better understand the author's perspective on the topic. Readers, even though nonfiction books teach us facts about a topic, it's important to know that nonfiction writers mix in their own opinions about the topics. That means the books we read often contain a bias, and in history, there are always two sides of every story, so it's important to be able to tell the difference between each side. In order to determine an author's bias or perspective, it's important to know the difference between fact and opinion. This may seem straightforward, but can sometimes be tricky to determine. Today, I'm going to show you how nonfiction readers distinguish between fact and opinion to better understand the author's perspective or bias on the topic. A fact is something that is true and can be proven. For instance, it is a fact the Egyptians worshipped gods and goddesses because they left behind artifacts that provided a deep understanding into their beliefs and practices. An opinion, on the other hand, is an idea that the author forms based on facts. By identifying an author's opinion, we can better understand the author's perspective or bias on the topic. Let's look at page 10 in The Genius of the Ancient Egyptians and see if we notice facts or opinions that help determine the author's perspective. Writing. The ancient Egyptians wanted to record important events in their world. To do this, they became one of the first civilizations to develop their language into a form of writing. In fact, the amazing Egyptians created several systems of writing, including hieroglyphics and hieratic. The ancient Egyptians wanted to record important events in their world is a fact because they left behind hieroglyphics and drawings of major events from that time period. The next sentence is also a fact. We know that the Egyptians were the first to develop their language into written form because no artifacts have been discovered prior to ancient Egypt that show a form of written language. The third sentence, however, claims that the Egyptians were amazing for creating several systems of writing, is an opinion that reveals the author's perspective. Based on the discoveries of several systems of writing, the author has developed the idea that the Egyptians were amazing. Readers, look at the chart. Notice how I distinguish between fact and opinion to better understand the author's perspective or bias on the topic. Now it's your turn. Reread pages 10 through 13 to identify examples of fact and opinion so that you can better understand the author's perspective or bias about the topic. Remember to look at the information in the text features. You will complete a chart just like this one. As you read from your independent reading books, remember, good nonfiction readers identify the author's perspective by distinguishing between fact and opinion.